Today, in Flex in the City, we talk to Albert Howard, co-founder and director of business development at MiniBranch. He talks about curiosity, connection and innovation, and why leadership at its best is about people, not products. All that happening right now in Flex in the City. Hello, everybody. This is Rachel Treese on Flex and the City. And today I'm absolutely delighted to be in the US of A, in North Carolina. North Carolina, isn't it?
This close. One of the Carolinas, South Carolina.
One of the Carolinas.
Right.
You know, we all get confused, us here in Europe, with the Carolinas, because there's plenty of them. Albert Howard is one of the co-founders, and he's a director of MiniBranch. And so I'm going to get really curious, Albert, if that's okay. Welcome to Flex in the City, and find out a little bit more about you and what MiniBranch does. So welcome to Flex in the City, Albert.
Oh, Rachel, so good to be here. I appreciate it. And don't feel too bad about, mixing up the Carolinas. A lot of folks here do as well in the United States. So yeah, you're not the only one. Yeah.
That makes me feel a lot better.
There's a song and it says Heads Carolina, Tails California. And it was easier to just say Heads Carolina instead of Heads North Carolina or Heads South Carolina, because people would have forgotten the lyrics.
Exactly.
Good to be here, though. Good to be here with you.
Good to be, absolutely. So Albert, tell me a little bit about your career and how you ended up doing what you're doing, because I know you're really passionate about what you do. So tell me a little bit about your career and
oh, man. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So where do I start? So let's go back to some of the sales background that I was able to develop working for a company that is defunct and no longer even exists called Radio Shack. Radio Shack was a good starting ground because it helped in a lot of different sales techniques and really just it really started to develop my curiosity. And I think that's something that I would share with everybody in terms of something that they need nowadays is be curious, right? Be curious about who it is you're talking to. Be curious about what makes them choose the decisions that they choose to make. Why go with this company? Why choose this vehicle? Whatever it may be. And I was able to be there working for Radio Shack for several years, close to 5 years, and would sell everything from fuses to cell phones to, everything like that. And I learned very early on that I enjoy talking to people, Rachel. And so it was great. And many of the higher ups took notice and began to get promoted very quickly, just because sales would also reflect that, because it was a true, genuine interest in the folks I was talking to. And so getting them not just what it is that we wanted to sell them, but what it is that they needed. And that would always pay dividends. So started there. I went to selling mattresses after that. So I got married. I moved, needed a little bit more of a full-time job that was a little bit more, in terms of higher end pay. And so I was like, all right, here we go. We were young, early 20s, and started working for a mattress company out of California called Sleep Train. It was a lot of fun. And I will tell you, Rachel, a lot of just different strategies I learned was from there. There are so many different things. I think one kind of culture that was created was leave your problems at the door and excel on the floor. And so it taught us like, hey, when you're here working, all of the drama, kind of everything that is going on outside of it, like that needs to just stay out there and focus on what it is that you're there for. Another thing that just stuck with me, and honestly, we've continued to incorporate it everywhere that I've been, was to be the company, Rachel, that if existed, would put your company out of business. And so what that did is that kept us hungry. That kept us being out there, always knowing that, hey, there's another company that's wanting to put us out of business. It may not exist yet, but it's going to be created, and we have to continue to fight for it and provide that level of customer service for it, that knowing somebody else is going to try to beat us at customer service. Somebody else is going to try to beat us at value. Somebody else is going to try to beat us at experience and some of these other things. So those are just some great things. Moved to South Carolina once our first son was born. And that was 14 and a half years ago now. And at the time, I really wanted banker's hours, Rachel. And I had been a member of a credit union since I was 9 years old. So I looked around. There was no credit unions that were hiring. So naturally, if you want banker's hours, then you look for a bank, a financial institution. So there was a bank that was hiring called Carolina First. I applied for it. I took a part-time position, 20 hours a week. And I knew if I could get my foot in, then I could prove myself and work up. Sure enough, 6 weeks later, went full-time from a customer service representative to a full-time customer service representative, got cross-trained, did the teller line, all that fun stuff, Rachel. A year later, got promoted to a financial sales representative. And so I just basically did like annuities, car insurance, those type of things. A year later, got promoted to assistant manager. Did that for a little over 3 years. then went over to another bank called Park Sterling Bank that then got bought out by another bank called South State, and was a branch manager there for years, and yeah, a lot of fun stuff. We used an ATM company, Rachel. So while I was working in here, okay, so I was working in the branch for close to 10 years. While managing multiple branches, we were in this small, like little podunk town. It's just a small little country town in South Carolina. And when I stepped into that position, it was one of the bottom three in terms of the company, like in terms of where it was placed, amount of revenue and accounts and just these type
Uh-huh.
of things. And for me, it was just a great opportunity. I always encourage folks, like, don't try to go for the company, the business, the branch location that is at the highest, because the pressure, there's going to be a lot more pressure on you to maintain that level. Look for one that's struggling, because you only have a couple places to go, and the number one is up. And so, sure enough, we took this place, one of the bottom three, and we began to change the culture, really shift the culture from just
Mhm.
a salesy, transactional to a relationship with the folks that were coming in. And there was also a lot of accountability that was put in place as well that they didn't have before. And my job was to go out and to bring in business. And I loved it, Rachel. And so I partnered with a company. It was called A1 ATM. And we would launch
Mhm.
ATMs in different banks, call them bank at work locations. Credit unions call them SEGs, select employee groups. Hmm. It's basically like a manufacturer, a distribution center, a call center. And so, my job was to go out there and I would try to bring in accounts from these places. So develop relationships with the HR folks, with the gatekeepers. Like, those are some of the best people, are those gatekeepers, right? Like, before you're trying to go and convince the CEO or the president or the top level executive, like, you've got to work your way and woo that gatekeeper. And
Mhm.
so there'd be many times, Rachel, I'd show up to some of these, like a call center, that's right down the road from me. And I would show up there and I would ask the gatekeeper, I say, listen, I'm new to the area, new in the role, just want to introduce myself. I want to bring some donuts for all the folks here. What's your favorite donut? Because I want to make sure I get you a special one as well. Like, just develop that relationship, make them feel special. And man, I can't tell you the amount of doors that were open just by winning over the gatekeeper, who would then open the gate to let me in and block the gate on all the others, many others talking about trying to get in. And we were very successful, very good, would open up many accounts. And by the time I left, we were actually in the top three. So it was
Wow.
incredible, the
Wow.
trajectory. And one of the companies that we had partnered with was A1 ATM that I was mentioning. And we would use them to deploy ATMs inside of these specific locations. And it was great because nobody could compete with us when we had one of our branded ATM machines that dispense cash that was with our brand, our colors, our logos. And I would tell the employees, like, hey, well, just so you know, if you open up an account with me, you can even use that ATM for free. And so you had that extra foot in. It was like planting your flag in some of these places. It was, yeah, they just couldn't compete. There's so many other financial institutions in the area, banks and others, and we would still continue to dominate. So it was good from that perspective. And I really enjoyed working with that ATM company so much that when he offered me a position, I moved over to that company and started working a lot more with credit unions. And that, Rachel, took me full circle back to where I had been a member of a credit
Mhm.
union since I was 9 years old. They gave me my first auto loan when I was 19 years old. And so I started working at the credit unions and I have never looked back. That was in 2019, Rachel. And
Wow.
it was incredible in terms of like the camaraderie, the support. They're always like, hey, if they find something good, they're letting all of these other credit unions know as well. It was very different than what I was accustomed to, because I was accustomed to not only competing with every other bank and credit union and other financial institution in my area. I mean, Rachel, I was competing against every branch within my bank as well. Like, it's super competitive. And so to see the difference, it was incredible. It was breathtaking. It was refreshing. And I'll be honest, even after I had left that bank to work for the ATM company, one of my first calls was with the local credit union in that area to brand those ATMs that I had deployed. And so to this day, they're branded with the credit union in that area. From there, as you know, the pandemic hit and COVID was shutting everything down. We started seeing a lot of these financial institutions losing access to these large employers where they were otherwise able to fairly go pretty often, once a month, set up at a new or higher orientations, open up accounts, health fairs, those type of things. Well, then all of a sudden that was closed. Like, they were not allowed to come on site anymore. And we had many credit unions also coming to us, specifically I call them growing credit unions as opposed to small credit unions, Rachel. It's more of a mindset thing. So we had many of these growing credit unions that were coming to us, and they said, Albert, we like the idea of these ITMs because it could provide an interactive teller machine, a video chat, but we don't like the cost of these ITMs. If you will create a solution, we will adopt it. And so, Rachel, that is exactly what we had done. We created MiniBranch to be able to selfishly, from the ATM side, add more ATMs to be able to provide the video connection that could be launched on any ATMs that they currently have or that they would like to add. And so that's kind of what led me here to MiniBranch as we continue to develop that. Q4 of 2020, it really started. 2021 was just true development phase. And we launched it in July of 22. It was incredible and has changed and evolved so much even since then. So that's kind of where we are now at this point.
Fantastic. I really feel your sports mindset. I've got a coaching question for you, if that's okay, Albert. What is
Sure.
your favorite sport? What do you
Ooh,
love watching?
yeah, man, it'd be hard to say. So my son plays basketball, and so we love playing basketball. He just went to his first Clemson game, this big university right here of football. So we enjoy football. I loved sports as a kid, but I was always one of those that was like the last kid picked. I was always one of those. I was never great at sports, but I loved sports. So it was more for enjoy. So there was never that type of pressure. So that was good. To this day, I mean, we play lots of different things. We play tennis. We love bowling. We love ping pong. We've got ping pong table at our house. Basketball, football. I mean, just any type of sports. But we have many different sports that are here. But honestly, we were more pro when we were in California, Rachel. So we were like the San Francisco 49ers, right? Enjoying a good football game over there. Back then, you also had a lot of different players like Jerry Rice and Deion Sanders and many other top level players. And San Francisco Giants, and there are Sacramento Kings. You have the Los Angeles Lakers. Like there was so much pro teams. I will tell you, it was a culture shock when we moved to South Carolina, where nobody even cares about pro sports. It's all college, and so it was a big difference. And we're like, wait, what? Like you guys don't even know who plays like pro? They're like, we don't even care about pro. Like we love the love of the game and the teams and the universities. So we're
So going
certainly
back to
going to learn
going
about
back
that.
to basketball, because I know a little bit
Yeah.
about basketball, not too much because I'm European, but know a little bit about basketball. So if you were, if Mini Branch were a basketball team, what differentiates you from all the other teams out there?
Oh man, I like that. That's good. So I would say that we were like the Bulls in the 90s, right? We had Michael Jordan, and that was a huge differentiator between any of the teams. He was a great team player. He was highly competitive, something that we are here certainly at Mini Branch as well. We enjoy a good competition. We're very transparent. So even in our demos, like we not only provide a full demo of everything that we're doing, we'll even show the price point within the demo. We're not trying to waste everybody's time where it's like, we're now going to transfer you to another team member in this department, then that one. And you're dragged on 4 or 5 weeks, 4 or 5 different meetings before you ever finally get the price point. And so, yeah, we're very competitive. We're up front and we enjoy the love of the game as well.
Yeah, of course, Michael Jordan had a fantastic growth mindset, didn't he? So
Certainly
talking
did.
about
Exactly.
growth mindset, you have 2 kids, don't you? And
Yeah,
what
we
were
do.
they?
We've got 2 boys, Rachel, and they are just absolutely amazing. In fact, we just had breakfast this morning. Their mama and my wife is in California right now visiting family.
Mhm.
And so over the weekend, daddy was in charge. When dad's in charge, man, we have a lot of fun. We eat a lot of junk food, Rachel, but it's always good when mama comes back because there's certainly that balance to everything. It's not all sugar anymore. Now it's making sure you got to remember to take care of everything. And
Yeah.
so yeah, they're great. So one just turned 8. He's our youngest son, Carter. He is absolutely amazing. He's very competitive. He's outgoing. He's just a blast. I mean, he will just talk to anybody. He's great. Our oldest, he's 14. He's about to be 15 in 2 weeks. He is incredible. He loves debating. He loves public speaking.
Oh,
I shouldn't
wow.
say he loves it, but he's really good at it and doesn't mind it. I loved it. But so yeah, just to see like their strengths, their personalities, how they're growing. In fact, this weekend I took just yesterday, I took my oldest son, who, like I said, is going to be 15 soon. So he'll be old enough to get his permit, literally in just a couple of weeks, which is just crazy to me because I remember getting my permit. And took him to a parking lot out of the mall right here in our town, and just let him start driving. Just start working with
Oh,
him. So
wow. Wow. Very
big
good.
things, big things. Of course, we had to record everything so that mama could see and still be involved as she's there on the phone. But it was awesome. So yeah, we we take them everywhere with us. We take them on trips, and they love the credit union movement, the space, and yeah, they're great.
So talking about trips, so I've got a daughter. She's 19.
Mhm.
She's Gen Z. And I've just taken her to university, to a French business school. So she's gone to London, then she's going to Paris next year, and then she's going to Berlin. So if you were giving some wise counsel to anybody
Yeah.
who's Gen Z, entering the workforce of business
Yes.
in the future, other than curiosity, which I've definitely picked up on, what big advice would you give these youngsters?
Oh, 100%. I mean, so there's so many different things to stand out. One is eye contact. Like you'd be surprised at how lacking of a skill that has become. I mean, that's something that we continue to teach both of our kids. Make eye contact, look at their eyes, even as you're shaking their hand, as you're talking to them. It helps develop that trust. When somebody is in front of me, but they're not even looking in my eyes, they're looking around like one, I feel like they're looking for something more important. I'm obviously not that important. They're looking for something a little bit more interesting and more important. Secondly, it just brings that level of confidence. It's like, cool, hey, Rachel, how are you? Like you see the smiles, you see the excitement, you can feel the passion and the energy. So that would be like one of my biggest things outside, of course, of what you have already picked up, which is be curious, because truly that is going to open up so many different doors if you're willing to just be curious. And the other thing that I would say as well is don't feel like those that are over you in any position of that you're trying to move up and within a company, for instance. If you're the assistant manager, you got a branch manager over you, don't feel like you need to take them out, right? Like I'm got to go for their job. Make them look so good. This was always my mentality is I'm going to make you look so good that you're going to be promoted up and I'm getting your position. Like that was kind of my mentality. And I would always look out for them. So they never had to worry about me gunning for their position or backbiting or undermining. It was, we're going to do some incredible things together. Like I said, my goal is to get you promoted because eventually, and it's soon at some point, I would like to be there as well. And so it was just great. The culture was good. The curiosity was always awesome. And yeah, so that's what
Great
I'd say.
stuff. So we have to go back to mattresses because we
Yeah,
all love a good mattress, don't we? I was I
true.
was sleeping on a blow up mattress in my daughter's student accommodation last week, which is
Yes.
all great fun. What is it that you think the great world of financial services can learn from mattresses?
Oh, yeah. I think going back to even one of those things that we had learned at the mattress company, which is to be the company that if existed would put you out of business. It was just an incredible point of view, incredible perspective. When people would come into the mattresses, one thing that we'd never do, Rachel, we'd never take them to the cheapest thing, right? We never go to the cheapest thing because one, they're terrible. They're not even comfortable. It's like a blow up mattress. That's you want something cheap? I'll take you. Here's a blow up mattress, or here's a mattress with springs and coils kind of pushing through that you feel no level of comfort. And then there's going to be kind of the mid tier, and that's going to be based off of, your kind of conversation that you're having with them. I would say, the conversation is a huge piece because rather than just going to like the account you're wanting to promote in financial services, you're going to the one that makes the most sense for them. It's what's going to keep them there. It's going to keep them loyal. Makes sense. Oh, it has direct deposit. Now it's a free account. Awesome. Um, there's going to be those type of mattresses that are really firm, right? There are some that really like
Yeah.
a firm mattress. There are those that are like way too soft. It's almost like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Like that one's too hard. That one's too soft. That one is just right. Soft feel, firm support, and that's certainly where I would put credit unions for sure. Kind of the best of both worlds, where they're offering the accounts, but then they're offering the ability where the credit union is a not-for-profit, meaning that any of the profits that are made from the credit union through any type of fees or interest go back to the members, which are the owners of the credit union, as opposed to shareholders like at a bank. And so that mattress that has the firm support but soft feel, that's kind of like I said, the best of both worlds would be like the credit unions, where they're right there to give you good rates, good lower rates when it's a loan, great higher rates when it's like a savings or a CD account. But then also, you're not having to worry about getting nickel and dimed for every fee as well.
Yeah. So my organization happens to be based in the center of Europe. You can probably hear that I'm British, but I live in Luxembourg, and
Mm.
my company sort of works worldwide. Do you see any difference culturally between credit unions in Europe or in Asia Pacific or in the USA? I'm curious to what your perspective is on that.
Yeah, great question. So we primarily, right now, our primary market is North America, but we do attend and are part of like the World Credit Union Council and the World Credit Union Conference. This year, Rachel, it was in Stockholm, Sweden. Last year
Oh,
was in Boston, Massachusetts. Year before that was in Scotland. Next year is going to be in Sydney, Australia. And it is absolutely incredible because the same level of service and camaraderie and support that you see with credit unions here in the United States, you see that around the world, Rachel. I was talking with folks like Rosemary in Kenya, Africa, and to see the same level of excitement about looking after their and taking care of their communities there and becoming members and offering the best service, best technology, best price points. And so, no, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, there's many folks that we're a part of, even there in like Ireland. I'll tell you, when we went to Ireland there over the summer as well, after, while attending the World Credit Union Conference, there's credit unions everywhere. Like they are doing tremendous things there in Ireland as well. And then even various stores that are also co-op, that are member-owned stores as well. So yeah, it's incredible. And no, it is nothing that is limited to just the United States, for instance. It's global and it's awesome.
absolutely. Yeah, my mum started her career in the co-op in the United Kingdom,
Oh
so
wow,
there you
nice.
go. There you go. That's where she started.
It's awesome.
So when you're not doing this amazing job or being a fabulous dad and husband, is there a hobby that you love doing, Albert?
Oh man, I'll tell you one thing that we absolutely love doing is traveling, Rachel. We love traveling so much. Last weekend or the weekend before that, took the boys on a Disney cruise. And so we just have a great time. It was the very first Disney cruise. Of course, we brought them with us to the World Credit Union Conference because we want the same passion to be passed on. We want them to see what it's like in the credit union space and just the differentiators, and to help fight for an industry that we've continued to see has been consolidating over the past, 2 decades. And so to develop that same passion and love. And so, yeah, we bring them with us as we travel. So they came with us. We actually did 5 countries. We did Sweden, we did France, we did England, we did Ireland, and we did Iceland. And it was an incredible time.
Wow. And which was their favorite of all those countries?
We had a great time looking at everything. And I'll tell you, my wife did amazing planning everything out, like down to the T. Um, in Sweden, we got to see they had a ship called the Vasa ship, I think it was. It's like a big museum there. I mean, that ship is like 350 years old. And it was incredible, Rachel, because that ship is older than our country is in the United States. Like just thinking about in terms of like age, it was just amazing to see it. It is the best, well-preserved ship of like 17th century ship that exists. And I could be off about, maybe slightly for years, but it was incredible. So we enjoyed that. When we go to France, we went to places like the Eiffel Tower there in Paris. We went to the Louvre. We saw the Mona Lisa. We got to see all of these like incredible things that you read about in history books, you're being taught about in school. And then England was amazing as well. We went to Buckingham Palace. We went to Westminster Abbey. We just did so many incredible things there. The British Museum, Winston Churchill War Museum, so many things there that were also incredible. We got to see the Rosetta Stone, right? Like, again, all these things that you read about. But then it kind of shifted. So, like, our first part of the trip was like a lot of the man-made beauty, the Eiffel Towers, these ships, these stones, these tablets, like all of these incredible things. And then it kind of shifted over to what I would say would be more like the God-made beauty, Rachel. We went to Ireland and saw the Cliffs of Moher, just an absolutely breathtaking view that was there. We loved Ireland. We're literally driving. We rented a car and we're driving from Dublin, just exploring. And there's ruins everywhere, like just old ruins of castles, of churches, cathedrals, old cemeteries, hundreds of years old. So that was incredible. And then we go to Iceland. And, this kind of all leads up to the question you asked, what was our favorite? I think we all kind of had the same favorite, and that was Iceland. It was the place that we spent the least amount of time in. We spent there just like a day and a half, and it was amazing. We were there in Reykjavik, and we got to go and do a crazy, amazing thing. So me, my son, took my wife's parents as well with us to come and enjoy this trip also. So it was me, my oldest son, that's about to be 15, my father-in-law. We went and swam at this place. It's the only place in the world where 2 tectonic plates meet that you can also swim at. And so we were snorkeling here at this place where Eurasia and what is it? Europe meet. Yeah. So it's I think it's North America plate and Eurasia plate meet. I think is that those 2 tectonic plates meet and you're able to swim at. And it was incredible. The water was freezing cold, but you're in this wetsuit. And so it's crazy. Like, Rachel, you literally put on this suit like over your clothes. You go in the water, you don't even feel any of the water on you. Like the only place that you actually get any water is the place where the snorkels did not cover, which is just under your eyes, right on your cheeks. And those go numb within a few minutes anyway. So you don't even feel that. You get out, you literally unzip that wetsuit that you have on, and your clothes is still dry underneath. Like it was awesome. There was a volcano that was erupting, like literally while we're there, Rachel. Like here's this volcano shooting 200, 300
Wow.
meters, like up, spewing lava as we were there. Like that was just amazing as well. The food was delicious, some of the best food that we had over there. So I think Iceland was probably one of was our favorite place actually.
Cool. So here's your last question. If Iceland was to give the financial services industry some coaching right now and to throw some energy into this wonderful industry we work in, what would Iceland bring?
Ooh, yes. It would bring the latest in technology. It would be bringing MiniBranch. I mean, MiniBranch is just an incredible platform, Rachel. We've got other folks that are in the industry, but one thing that sets us apart, right? Like that's something that set Iceland apart. It was very unique in kind of what it had, what it provided, the level of experience. You're able to do all of these things here. I mean, another thing I didn't even hit on is when we were there, it was like the 24-hour sun. Like Rachel, it was 11:30 at night and it was still sunny. Like if it was, 5 o'clock in the afternoon here in South Carolina, it'd be, I don't know, some of the places across Europe, it gets cloudy really often. But over there, it was completely sunny, like the entire time. Like it was just mind blowing. So it was how we were also able to do so much within that day and a half because it never went dark. So we were able to just keep doing it and staying up
I
very
love
late.
that.
Um,
I love that. I love that. That's the quote for this podcast. It never goes dark. It never goes dark. Albert Howard, your energy is absolutely incredible. I wish you every success with MiniBranch. It's absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for being with me today on Flex in the City.
Rachel, thank you so much for having me. It was awesome to be here, and I look forward to seeing you again.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Flex in the City. We hope that you found inspiration and valuable nuggets of wisdom to elevate your leadership journey. Don't miss out, subscribe on your favourite platform, and if you enjoyed the episode, please do leave us a review. Your feedback really matters. Thank you.